Educators were asked to reflect on how they felt at the beginning of the professional pedagogy project and to talk about some of the most meaningful changes they made as a result of their individual learning journey.
We thought we were great. At the beginning of the PPP, we thought we were great.
So things were more
we thought we would have to tweak things, because we did have things in place. We had planning, we had assessment, we had free play, we had outdoors. So, you know, if on the surface it looks like nothing's changed, but actually everything's changed. Like there's been a huge swing in our attitude. Our priorities are different as well. Like, you know, the thing about the PPP, like the integration of it and combining all the different elements, you would hear something in training and it wouldn't make sense until months later maybe. Things need time to sink in, and especially if it's going to be like permanent, a permanent change.
Well, at the beginning, when we were first introduced to the Pedagogy project, we really didn't think we had a lot of changes to make. We then had our assessment, and I have to tell you, we were taken aback by the amount of changes that were mentioned. But as we went on in the training and in the project, we discovered that we did have to make a lot of changes. And one of the biggest changes was our planning. And that really was a shock to us, because we had been planning and doing our evaluations for a long number of years. You're talking about 20 years. And it wasn't until we had actually finished the programme that we could see that it was such worthwhile.
I felt my role as an educator changed because it was more about being a facilitator and including children's interests.
Shielta and the QDAP were portfolio based, and you got something and you marked it off and you ticked it off and you put it into a folder, and sort of the folder was closed, even though you do go back and look at it. But the pedagogy it's implementing things into your room, it's changing the way that you think and the way that you work. So it's more personalised, it's more hands-on, it's not sheets of paper and marking. It's like anybody, you can read a book, but actually get in and do it, it's two different things. So to actually implement everything in.
Yeah, and you can see the difference now. We have a totally different setting now from before we started the PPP, and we've actually been so proud to have been part of the PPP.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We made a lot of changes to our outdoor areas as well.
Yeah.
We added in like an old oven to have a mud kitchen, more natural materials, more open-ended materials, and the kids go out now and they're away, they're mad to get out and hard to get back in again. And they don't need as much adult involvement. They're happy to play by themselves, you know, in their own imagination. They're just running wild. So that's been a great change to see.
But it definitely opened our eyes to where we could go and where we could be, and I suppose we had to do extra reading and stuff like that because it was extremely new to us, and we hadn't really worked with Astor before that either. So we were learning about becoming more child-centred and child-led.
Astor as well, we knew about Astor but we didn't know much about it, so we found it was excellent to explain all the whole aspect of Astor and how we implement it into the centre. And we struggled at the beginning as well with the plan, and we didn't know where to start. Basically we felt there was so much paperwork to get our heads around, we didn't know which piece to start with. So we did feel that the Building Pictures of Learning was an absolutely fabulous resource for us. Like, you were realising that, you know, what you found the children were learning, they were engaging more in it then because it was something that they were enjoying.
I think the biggest difference we made was the resources that we use in the centre.
Yeah.
We had such a lot of plastic toys, and some of them were really lovely toys, you know, the Early Learning Centre and educational toys, but none of it was sort of a natural resource, so we've really changed.
I think it was just great. It was great that the whole staff team got to go on the same training programme together at the one time, because that's really not something to the extent of the PPP we would have done, you know, all staff going out together.
I think at the start, when we started out, I thought that all preschools had kind of some sort of a conflict, or like, you know, and I just kind of thought, oh no, this is the way it's going to be. But after being on this, I realised that we're kind of all on the same side, and we're just trying to, like, you know, like help each other out. And I think that's like really lovely thing from this project.